Right then, howdy heartthrobs. Bit of a different one today. Hopefully I'm going to sort a lot of your problems out hammock camping. So what I'm trying to do today is to see if you can get a hammock setup the right length and width with tarp and underquilt for under £100. I know, never going to happen, you say. Let's have a look. It might not, I haven't tried these yet, but we'll give it a go. First things first, one thing I have been sent, this isn't a review of it, I'm using it because it fits the parameters. The other one I bought, once again, because it fits the parameters. One of the most frequent questions, comments or messages I get is about people not being able to sleep right in their hammocks. This generally comes down to one of three things or a combination of them all. Either your hammock ain't long enough, your hammock ain't wide enough, or it's your setup, i.e. the sag of the hammock and the orientation, etc. By far and away, certainly in the UK, one of the best selling hammocks for a long time was the DD Frontline. What that gave you was about 2.7 metres in length by about 1.5 metres in width, maybe 1.4. It's too small, it's not wide enough, and people are ending up bananaed. What they subsequently did was bring out the DD XL, which stands at 3 metres long by 1.8 metres wide. A much better hammock. Personally, I think 3 metres is your minimum in length that you could go. I would probably go to 3.3 metres. And the width, you want it as wide as you can get it. Yeah, 1.8 is good, 1.6 also works. So what I've got today is the Easthill hammock. This measures in at 3 metres long by 2 metres wide. It also comes with a tarp, and that comes in at about 70 quid. The material of it, I'll do a walk around with you so you can see them. The material is the parachute type material, so you are going to get issues with, like, it's not going to block the wind that well. But with the underquilt, that shouldn't really be an issue. It's not ripstop, so if it does rip, you're going to be buggered. But for a hammock and tarp setup for 70 quid, you can't really go wrong. If you compare that to the DD XL, then that retails at about 75, 80 quid, I think it is. So you're getting a tarp for the same price. The second hammock I've got is the G43. Now, I've been eyeing this up for a while purely because it ticks a lot of boxes. It comes with a removable bug net. It is 3.3 metres long, perfect length. Got a ridge line on the inside, which I need to have a look at because it doesn't look structural. It will hold you, but I think it might have a bit of stretch in it. Once again, I'll show you when it's set up. What else? It also comes with guy lines that you can peg out to open up your hammock and stop the rocking and stuff. Only 1.4 metre wide though, so we will see if the extra length negates the need for a wider hammock. This come in, I believe I paid £27.99 for it. Both of these come with tree straps, and as I say, both have got removable bug netting. So I'm going to be pairing that with my trusty old DD 3x3 tarp. These are give or take about 40 nicker. So these are both coming in hammock and tarp at 70 quid, which leaves me 30 quid for my underquilt. You can get 3x3 tarps starting from about 25 quid, they will do the job. One thing I will say is if you can, the more tie outs you get around your tarp, you can use it for more things, tarp tents and things like that. Just bear in mind. So currently we are now standing at 70 quid per hammock. I've made a mod, which after this, if you go and have a look at this video up here, or wherever it is, which enables me to use any sleeping bag, not any sleeping bag, an envelope sleeping bag, any blanket, even a down jacket as an underquilt. And I've used it for my last 3 or 4 hammock camps, and I've been amazed just how well it works. So I'm currently using the Snugpack travel blanket. This comes in about 27 to 30 quid, wherever you get it from. The mod I've made, let's say on the off chance, on the outside you're gonna spend a tenner to make it. Probably not, probably a fiver, but have a look. You can see we're gonna be around about the £100 mark. Swap the Snugpack travel blanket out for a cheap and nasty envelope sleeping bag that will get you down to about 10 degrees. Yeah, you can pick them up for 15 quid, you're way under the £100 mark. I'm going to set these up now. You don't need to see me set them up because you've seen people setting hammocks up time and time again. So first things first, here we have it. the Easthill Hammock. As you can see, it comes in its own little stuff sacks, Q-clip. A couple of things I don't like about it, I'll go straight off the bat. The way that you hold up your bug net is faffy and rubbish. Personally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little burn a hole through there, put a static ridge line through it. It will hold everything up. I hate these, you know, tie around the tree elastic jobs, but keep the elastic, because you'll be able to use that, saving yourself a bit of money in making the underquilt. Now the little loops on this side, immediately I tore one off. So yeah, get rid of them. Static ridge line. In order for them to make it 2 metre wide, they have had to stitch a couple of bits of material together. So you're getting, give or take, 1.5 metre wide on the actual main body, and then an uplift either side. Now what that means is triple stitched, so that is not going to give you as much give or stretch as the hammock itself would, which means you could end up with a ridge either way. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to jump in her, see if it passes the 15 stone of idiot test, and then I'll bring you in for a look. Right, I'm in. Can I get diagonal? So it holds me okay. I'll bring you in, I'll talk about the lie. I haven't got the sag perfectly right because it doesn't have a structural ridge line to get that all the time. But I will add that. I do like these little phone pockets you get. How many of them? Yep, you've got a few of them. And with the ridge line running through, you could add a ridge line organiser. I'll bring you in and you can see how she looks from the inside. Right, so I'm inside her now. As you can see, this is a bit flappy because, yeah, it's a crap design for the bug net. With a central ridge line running right the way through, that should hold it up high enough. As you can see, I'm not actually touching that line. And sorry about the wobbly camera work, legs going forward the same, and I have got, yeah, a decent lie in it. I'm not going to lie to you, it's a lot flatter than the smaller hammocks. So would this work for getting a decent night's kip? Once again, the material, you are going to get wind blow through it. The actual quality of it, everything's triple stitched, as you can see. The zips are not YKK, but they're something. The bug net is removable. You have got frayed edges. This ain't a review of the hammock. It's to see whether or not you can get a big enough hammock to kip in. Yes, I would say that that is big enough for me to get a decent sleep. That will bug me a bit, but there are ways and means around it. You can move around. Yeah, it ain't too bad. I will be putting a ridge line on her, but Hammock and Tarp at the moment for 70 quid, it ain't a bad shout. Is it going to be more comfortable than a Frontline? Yes. Frontline XL? Possibly not. Right, let me get out, because it's a little bit where they say 2 metre, 3 metre by 2 metre, it isn't really because of where they stitched it. Let's go out and have a look at the tarp, shall we? Oh, that fuck. Right, so the tarp is 3 by 3. I've got it folded over at the moment just for camera work. Tie out wise, 1 on each corner, 1 in the middle, on each end. Ideally you could have another 2, but yeah, it does the job. It's got like a reflective coating. The grey's an inoffensive colour. As I put it up, the heavens opened, and as you can see, it is feeding rather than stopping up. I think it's got a 2000mm hydrostatic head, so that should do. Easthills, 70 quid with a tarp could well be the answer. Let's go and have a look at the G4 free hammock. Now straight away what you notice here, it looks sleeker, it looks neater, the way that it's pegged out. Aesthetically it's a much more pleasing hammock. When you have a look on the inside, you can see that it is also much narrower. Again, the bug net unzips fully, so you can take that off and stuck it in the pocket. One thing I do like about this as well is the suspension system. If you have a look at the Easthills, it's just cheap, nasty bit of rope. I mean, it'll do the job, but who wants a nasty bit of rope? What I'm going to do now, do the 15 stone of idiot test inside the G4 free hammock, and we'll see if she works. So this hammock in particular, my good old mucker Burton Outdoors was having nightmares sleeping in his frontline hammock, and he was just about to give up on hammock camping. I suggested this to him without even trying it, just looking at its dimensions. And go and have a look at a couple of his recent hammock camping videos and see what he makes of it, in case you think I'm making shit up. As I say, I bought this. I'm going to give it a go. I ain't tried it yet. So yes, she is a lot narrower. Can I get it? Yes, I can. So within here, you've got the structural ridge line, a little tidy, and I've got to say, that is not far off being a good diag lie. Let me bring you in and I'll show you around. It's like cribs. This is made from a single piece of material, meaning you're not going to get any of that calf ridge or anything like that. So I'm laid here, mosquito net's off my head. Along that ridge line I've got a ridge line organiser, so you know, you can stick what you like in there. Johnny can put his dildos in there if he wishes. If you're a taller person, I'm only 5'9" and a fag butt, you will struggle with this hammock a bit, I reckon. But let's have a look at my legs. Am I getting a reasonably flat lie? Compared to, sorry about the wobbly camera, compared to the cheaper hammocks you get, the parachute material hammocks, yes, it's a very comfy lay. Compact, I'm happy with it. For a cheap and cheerful hammock, this really could be the way to go. No rocking because you guide out. The bug net looks a bit whitish, which is not the best. It looks well stitched. All in all, it really ain't a bad bit of kit. I prefer this to that one. I think the extra length makes up for it being narrower, and yeah, I'm not getting the hyperextension. That's not to say that you won't. All I'm trying to get at, ignore the fact that I'm featuring these hammocks in particular. Just remember, the length and the width means a lot. A single piece of material at 3.3 meters and anything 1.6 and above, I'd say 1.8, you'll be golden. A structural ridge line or an adjustable ridge line at 83% of the hammock length, yeah, you're laughing. I haven't measured this, but I have the ability to change that out to a bit of am steel and make it adjustable. So all in all, this is not a bad shout. For under 30 quid, it could solve a fair few hammock woes. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to attach my DIY underquilt onto this, just so you can see it. Go back and look at the video on how to make it. It could save you a fortune. As it stands with this hammock in particular, can you get out and have a comfortable night with a full hammock setup for £100 or under, yes. I didn't bother putting the DD tarp up. It's a 3x3 tarp. Any tarp will do as long as you don't go any less than a 3x3. So as we look at this underquilt as it stands, all that is a series of tarp clips at varying lengths with some shock cord that gets clipped to there, all adjustable. And as you can see, that gives me full coverage and attaches to any hammock. I've used it on DIY bridge hammocks, my DIY normal hammock. I've used it on every hammock. And I've got to say, up until my last camp, it has worked absolutely superb. I'm a lucky person. I sleep very warm. So, whereas a lot of people who have their winter sleeping bags out at the moment, I can get away with a 10-degree sleeping bag, near enough down to freezing. Snug pack travel blanket, 30 quid. Use whatever you like. The actual kit to put it all together at top end is going to cost you a tenner. So this is just to see how the underquilt works with hammock. I've never tried it on before. Do them zips. Have a look. Underquilt, underquilt. Is it over my feet? Yes, it is. Now, obviously, I can't see what you can see, but to me, that looks like I'm getting full coverage. It definitely feels like I'm getting full coverage. And for the equivalent of 35, 40 quid, you could go out and you could buy the One Tigress winter underquilt, double, always get the double. That's about 55, 60 quid, something like that, I don't know. If you get the single ones, they're absolute dog toffee, I wouldn't bother. Yeah, then you've got your DD under blanket and stuff like that normally comes in 40, 50 quid. Or you can make one, 30 quid for that, and you can change that out for anything you want to. You can get a big down envelope sleeping bag, Costco down throw, down jacket, you name it, you can use whatever you like. If this gets too cold, I unclip it and add additional layers. So that will boost this up from a 10-degree bag to a 0-degree bag. You know, even a little fleece blanket or something in between it. Who knows? I'm happy. But then again, I'm always happy. When you look like this, you can't not be. What's not to love? If you can get a full hammock camping setup where you can get a decent lie, a decent night's kit, be warm for under 100 quid, there is no reason. If you are going out hammock camping and you are in a DD Frontline, the smaller version, and having a bad night's sleep with hyperextension, the reason is your hammock's too short and too narrow. Simple as. That one there, it does do a job, it is comfortable. It does come with the tarp, that in itself. Take away the issues of it, i.e. the crappy bug net design. I'm gonna ping a thingy line through it. Yeah, it works. It gives you enough for a diag lie. Make your own mind up, can't you? Have a look around. Minimum of 3 metre, absolute minimum. But if you're gonna go 3 metre, go at least 1.8 metre wide. Ideally, 3.3 metre. My homemade hammocks I use, I found the sweet spot at about 1.6 metre wide. But saying that, it's only because I can't get anything bigger. Let me know what you think. If you have had DD Frontline banana issues, just type in the comments, banana Frontline. If not, there you go. A couple of alternatives, cheap and cheerful. I bought that one. They've sent me that one for review. I'm going to review it on my review channel, not now. Happy days. Till next time. Ta-da! Fell over.